anybody wants to drive coffee before we start? Well, I got here early because I dropped off my son, and then he goes and so I drove him off around 4:08, and yeah, I did. I because he goes here to. So the second color, okay, so I have purple. I don't have purple, so I put magenta, and I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of ultramarine and make my own purple. Then ultramarine, cadmium yellow, viridian green, or Taylor green, whichever one you have. White and burnt sienna or rose sienna or yellow ochre. Any ochre or sienna that you have available. And we're all here, right? We're not missing anything.
The one lady.
Yeah, just the one lady.
I'm very excited. I never completed
Well, we're gonna start with the brush first. Okay, so make sure your canvas are dry and mine dry.
Same as starting with a brush. What kind of brush?
You can get any round brush, you know.
Round?
Yeah, round brush. And if you have your reference picture, keep it next to you on your phone, or whatever, you can refer to it. And I like that you put that there. Oh, good. I'm good. I'm gonna use oil.
Oh, you're not using oils?
I am.
Yeah, no, this is the liquid.
You can use liquid.
Just to, yeah.
Yeah, you can use liquid. This one will be fine actually. Because since we're gonna put the paint very thick, we wanted it to dry quickly.
Well, I think it's better.
So I am going to start. With my yellow ochre or burnt sienna, whatever you have available, and then just and I'm gonna. You already have a drawing though, so just when you're painting over your drawing, make sure that your paint is thin enough so you can see the drawing underneath. Right? Don't cover your drawing just yet.
So we're doing the background.
Right. No, we're gonna start with the sunflower. Okay. So we're gonna take the sunflower.
I meant that. I meant the background of the sunflower, the
Yeah, we'll do that after.
petals. Okay, I'll just.
Yeah. All right. So.
Is that
Yeah, mine is a burnt sienna. If you don't have burnt sienna, yeah, you can use that. You can use either ochre or raw sienna, any of them. This is just the one I have available. What I want is I want to put the warm color before, underneath, before we start putting the yellows and the bright cadmiums and all that on top. You want to have like, if you notice, if you don't mind me borrowing this, if you notice there's some nice reds here, you can look at it on the picture. There's some nice reds, and that's what we're starting with. That's our base color. And we're gonna carry this color all the way down to the leaves and the stem. So we're gonna do everything with this one color for now. All right, this is going to be the reddish color. Is going to be our base for our leaves and stem. And the reason why is because you want to have a contrast with the green. You want to have the complementary color underneath when you're painting green. Get those warm. That way your greens, when you put those dark greens, they don't look like plastic or anemone.
It shouldn't be too thick, should it?
No, we're following the rule that is called fat over lean. So your paint has to be very lean when you start.
Very what?
Lean, very lean. Okay, when you start using it. So make sure you're able to see the drawing as well. You
Yeah.
want to see what's underneath. You want to keep that drawing. And then we start building the layers on top. And then we start putting adding more colors.
Of course, we didn't spray this.
Is it erasing? If you don't put it too wet, you'll be able to see the
Oh,
drawing.
I can see it.
You can, okay. If anything, once it's dry, or once you finish putting the color, you can always go with your pencil and just redraw the area if you want. All right. And I always, if you're painting with oils, and if your underpainting has too much oil, you can grab your paper towel and just dry it. There. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna hit it really quickly with, yeah. All right, doesn't need to be completely dry, but enough. All right. Grab your favorite palette knife. Ideally, you want your palette knife to be flexible. So I would say, smaller one here, since you're painting on a smaller canvas, you can use a smaller palette knife. Little ones. You want to make sure that your palette knife is clean.
If you don't clean it, then you're.
How do you do it? You don't clean it.
Yeah, when you don't clean it, when you.
So you grab a razor blade and then you just.
Use your palette cleaner.
Yeah. And then you clean it. Like this and that. If you want to have, you want to be able to control the edge of your palette. Right? So you should clean, especially the edges. There's some palette knives that are very stiff, and those are more for mixing and buckets, let's say. You can use those silicone brushes too, if you can load them with paint. But you can do a lot of subtraction too. with those systems.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Anybody else need to clean the palette knife or kind of blade here? All right. And all right, let's grab some of this Viridian or Taylor green, and let's start with the stem. And it's also, again, very lean. Okay, you don't want to put it too thick. When you put the paint with your palette knife, it has to be very, very lean. do I have white tile? All right. It doesn't have to be a perfect line, perfect edge. You want to have a broken edge, you want to have movement on it. And you start with that color. Now you're going to mix that green. You're going to, after you put the first coat of color, you want to mix that green with a little bit of cadmium yellow. And once you mix it with a little bit of cadmium yellow, you want to mix it also after with the raw sienna, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, any of those. And the idea is that you want that color to be more of a burnt green. You want it to be very acidic.
Hey, a little bit of a tip on using the, palette knife.
So,
How to load the paint.
all right, when you load the paint on the palette knife, you want to, I guess if you can see it on the screen, I think it'll be better. You wanna grab paint on the edge. You see here? There. On the, right on one edge, right? And then it's like when you're, you want to drag the paint ever so slightly, not push it too hard, not too soft. Now, it's about feeding, right? It's like if you were putting when you're making a cake and you're putting the frosting on it, right? You don't want to push too hard, but you want to leave material on it. So. And there's also a lot of scraping too, like you kind of like scrape, add, remove, and again, don't worry about if your edge is not perfect. We're gonna go around this with white at the end, so you can fix your edge if the stem is not so, it came out like too thick or too thin. You can always fix it at the end, right? So.
What did you add, some yellow to it, or what?
Cadmium yellow
And blue?
and viridian. And now, all right, yeah, so you add to the green, you add cadmium yellow, a little bit of cadmium yellow, and then you can add a little bit of, yeah, you can use that one. And then you're gonna add, after that, these are in small amounts, your sienna, your yellow ochre, your raw sienna, and you wanna burn type of a green. Now, when you're mixing this color and you're mixing your palette, it's always good to look at your reference picture, the one that you have, and try to match that color by eye, right? And here, again, I put the paint right on the edge of my palette knife. And,
Go ahead.
now the second color that I'm putting, you can add a little more paint to it, right? You can, now you don't have to be so lean. Now you can give a little, once you have the color that you need, the color that you wanted, that you mix, that it matches the best to your reference picture. And it has to be a lighter color than the one that you have on your base, because your base is your shadow, basically, right? So the one that you're putting on top, it has to be lighter. I know it's hard to see it on the screen now, the changing color, but if you need to lighten this color, you can add a little more cadmium yellow, and if you want, you can even add a touch of white. But be careful with that white. Don't add too much, because if you put too much white, then it'll become all chalky. And if you notice, I'm using the edge of my palette knife here. As the stem gets closer to the flower, it looks like in the picture it's a little bit more brown, so you can use more of that sienna on it. Now we're gonna do the same similar method with the leaf stems. Same like you're doing, you carry on the same method with the dark color first, and then you put the other colors on top for the stems. So I'm gonna show you here.
Didn't you just do the stem?
For the, how do you call this, the stems,
Oh, the leaves.
the leaf stems, yes. Now remember, palette knife, it's very intuitive. It's not precise. It's not a pencil. So don't treat it as a pencil. In other words, don't fight your medium, or your tool. Sometimes I see people that are working in watercolors and they want the watercolors to behave like oils. So you're fighting your materials and your mediums. And you want to go with the flow. You want to, if whatever the palette knife, then the tool that you have in your hand gives you, stay with that.
Oh. What other color are we using now? I'm sorry, I'm behind. I just finished the green.
Let me see.
It's not well, but I haven't done it all.
Right. Okay. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, those colors, you're gonna do the same colors for the other, the same method that you use, and we're gonna carry that same method to the leaves as well.
brush or with this?
Palette knife. All with a palette knife. It's simple enough that you can make it with that. So if you want to make this a little bit darker. Yeah. Yeah. So you can add a little bit of blue.
I just thought the colors you, is this it?
Yeah.
Okay, add that to the.
Yeah, a little bit. So you got a little bit of that, and then put a little bit of this. And if you're painting with acrylics usually you need more paint than oil. So when you're doing your mixtures, you add more paint than what I'm adding here on my palette. So. And see, this is one of the reasons why you want to have a flexible palette knife, because if I want to follow this edge right here, you can't see me here, but you can see it over there. If you want to let's say this edge here, if it was a stiff, I wouldn't be able to, but since it's flexible, I can add it in small increments. You see? And I can turn it and just follow the edge, right? And you can watch the replay on TV. It's like a few seconds delay.
Good for us, we're really concentrating.
And remember, it's not perfection, right? You don't want perfect lines. You want that feeling of movement too, right? When you have a broken edge, it feels like the leaf is moving, right? It's not static, and you want to try to achieve that with this. So basically what I do is I put my shadow first, and then I put my midtone on top, and finally I put my highlight. And there are a few leaves right
Can I
underneath.
use a brush?
You can use a brush. If you're having a really hard time with a
I am.
sure, go ahead. Yeah, use the brush. You don't need to suffer.
Just a flat brush?
Then
Flat brush?
your teacher's gonna end up sending you to the hospital. So yes, that's a good brush you can use. Yes. Yeah, don't stress out, D. You're gonna be fine at the end of the day. All right, there's some leaves like peeking through. All right. The texture, the color. Always start with the shadow first. You may use a little bit more paint. No, it's a little bit too thin, so. Add a little more paint. Look at your reference picture too, see how you're comparing the colors. And if you notice, some leaves are in lights, some of them are in shadows, some of them have reflection, and there's a highlight at the bottom, so we're gonna get to all that. Now, again, for the mid-tone, it's three colors. It's your green, your dark green, you're gonna mix it with your yellow, cadmium yellow, and then you're gonna add some sienna to make it more of a warmer yellow. Now, if your green is too dark, you just add more cadmium yellow to it. Oh, water, I need to put the water. So this combination of colors is in essence what many manufacturers call sap green. So we're making sap green because that we can. So it's a warmer green. Add a touch of white if you need, if it's not light enough.
Oh, dear me.
Let me grab some water. All right. How's everybody doing so far?
Slightly traumatized.
It's not traumatizing.
I'm getting there, I am
It's getting
very
there.
traumatized.
All right. If you are done with your shadow part, I'm gonna start putting the mid-tones on the leaves, okay? And if you notice, it's not everywhere. There's, again, some leaves, like for example, this one this stayed in shadow, right? And there's more shadow on this one too. And there's one. So over here, there's just touches of the mid-tone green, and then we have a highlight here, and highlight here. You don't have to do it in every single one, right? So it's yes, very, very nice, yes.
Sorry. Very important spam call.
And again, these are just touches around it, though not everywhere, right?
And you're using yellow for that?
So you want to use yellow, a camo yellow. You want to use the green that you have, more yellow than green, right? And then in your case, yeah, put more yellow, yeah. That's good. So the leaves underneath the flower, you notice that they're more in shadow than in light, if you notice. So only just, and the tip of the leaf is the one that is gonna have some of that mid-tone color.
Say that last sentence again, the what?
So if you notice in the picture, there's shadow right here, right? So only on the tip of the leaves you put, like for example here, that's where you put your mid-tone color. Right? We're not putting the highlights. Highlights will be this, right? We'll do those things. What makes a painting beautiful and believable is when you have variations of colors of the same color, same family of colors have variations of it. You have some cool, some you have some warms, you have some of them that are lighter and some of them that are darker. When you master that, let's say if you get that green and you can make that green be dark and be light, it's just like looking at nature. If we look out the window and you can see how so many, it's all green, but there's so many variations of green. And that's what makes it attractive to the eye, right? When you see that. We have a beautiful morning now, and we can see look how nice the sun hits the leaves, and it gives you this nice yellow color against these cool greens in the shadows. Yeah, just a mid-tone. So you want, now you want to have a color that is more, you can add more yellow to, something like this but with more yellow.
Okay.
Like, yeah, something like, you can go even a little bit lighter even
Where?
on your color, like, so something like this, that's a good color. Then you can put some, like here. Look at this. See here. Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah, very good. You can add more big yellow, those light colors if you want, with this yellow color, mix it with the green. Very good, very good. Doing great.
Just put this up.
That's a small.
What does that mean?
Sometimes if something is coming out right, like you're doing the leaves and it's coming out right, we tend to do more than leaves than what we need to do.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Can we add a little white in this?
Yeah.
We will once when we do the height. I love this chunk of paint right here. What's cool about palette knives is that it's so expressive.
Yeah.
You could just
I
have
kinda
so
use it.
kind of, when you put the, your meat to make it a little bit lighter. You might add a little more yellow to it, more kind of, you know. Yeah. Very nice, yes. And you could use something like that. So we're having that like this, we can. You get that like. Same thing. Nice highlight. Don't overwork it, just leave it like that, just put that highlight. It's more of a expressive rather than like that, like exactly like the picture. All right, I'm gonna add the highlight to the leaves, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll get into the sunflower. Believe it or not, we've been paying for an hour. So for the highlight, it's what color is it? All right, so it's the mid-tones that I have with a little bit more white. So if you look on the screen, it is not pure white, but it's you mix it with your green and you get this type of like a sage kind of a green. And you can add a touch of cadmium yellow too if you wanted it. There. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. There. And again, it's only in a few parts. You don't have to put it everywhere, right? Especially in the leaf at the bottom. Mine is not. Put it here. So I'll put some of the highlights here and maybe over here. There. In the stem too, you can add a few here. But don't overdo it, because you want to have some kind of a focal point on the leaves, but if you put too much, then your eye will go directly to it, and then it will detract from the sunflower. Right now, it's kind of hard to have that contrast because we have another sunflower. But once you realize that once you put the sunflower, then these highlights are gonna become secondary. Right now, if you look at it, your eye goes directly to it. But it's because, again, we don't have the flower there. So, I would say few touches. All right, coffee's ready for whoever wants to have coffee. Take a little break, walk around. Yeah, that kind of look at your reference picture, you'll notice that there's some reds and there's variations in different colors, right? But this is going to be a good base for you. All right.
Or else, what's your quickest way to clean a brush that you want to use the same brush and you like?
Use linseed oil. Just wash it and
That's what I'm doing.
linseed oil is the best way. All right. So it so we're doing the center of the flower now.
The center.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the center of the flower, and then we'll do the darks, and then we'll put the highlights on top.
So the center of the flower is burnt sienna.
Yeah.
Well, let's see it. Just sienna?
With yellow and red.
With a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. So now here you'll see how this color is gonna overlap the green leaf that you had like underneath the flower, if you notice. Like so. See how they overlap?
Oh, and then you're putting it,
Mm-hmm.
nothing focus. I'm sorry if I'm annoying.
All right, so it's the center and basically everything that is in shadow here, right? Okay. Put that color. You can put we're gonna put the dark color in the center now, and for that dark color, we're not gonna use black, it's going to be ultramarine, and let me see. No, no, not ultramarine and yellow. Let me see what I have. Or purple, I think purple, yeah. Purple and green. Yeah,
And green?
yeah, more green than purple, just a touch of purple on,
Oh, good.
all right? So there, and then for this, you can use the brush. I think the brush will work better here. Uh-huh. Yeah. There. Yeah. Green and purple, the Taylor green, or Iridium green and purple. Just add that, a little bit of texture on the flower. Look at your reference picture, see how the colors, they blend together. When you're putting if you're painting it normal, when you're putting the dark on it, make sure that you place the color on top and you don't over mix it, right? You don't want to over mix it. You want to put the color at a touch. Yeah, that's good.
What's that on like this?
And then, so, since we do this,
You fooled me. I matched his color perfectly. This one. Okay.
yeah, the color's perfect. Yeah. You can make the center a little darker, that's all.
Okay.
Put a,
Oh,
mix
so
a little
you
bit
got it in
of
purple?
purple and your
Okay.
dark green.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna do the petals. We're gonna do the midtones of the petals, which is, I wanna say it's cadmium yellow with just a touch of that brown or raw sienna. Just a little bit, just to lower the intensity of the cadmium yellow. So I'm gonna do a mixture you guys can see. All right, so that's my color, my mid-tone color. It's a warmer cadmium yellow when you add that little bit of that burnt sienna. Yeah, so that you can add just a touch of this color, but yeah, like like that, just to warm it up. And I'm gonna use a palette knife, but if you want, you can use a. Well, maybe I'm gonna go straight with a brush actually. So before we continue, see how you can intermix both. I am going to use a, for this, it's easier if you use a flat edge brush so you can get a nice sharp edge. See that? Yeah. This one, please. So if you notice one that you were asking me about how to paint the brush, you see how this one had, I was painting with blue yesterday. So it only with the linseed oil, you don't need any salt, but you can see how much you can get out of the brush.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that sometimes it may not be completely clean because this color is very simple, but on that yellow, because this is gonna turn into green, and I wanna keep that like warm, that's a nice color. You can add a touch of that to that. Yeah, you can add a little more cadmium yellow to that. All right. Let's do this color. All right, so it's right on top and in between. And you have your drawing, so you can follow your drawing. I'm just winging it. So if you notice, when you're using a flat brush, you put the brush on your canvas, you get the edge, and then you press down, and then it becomes wider, and it's kind of like a twisting motion, and then you get that shape, you know. But then you have to start thin, and then you press down.
Are you doing a lighter color?
Yes. So it's lighter than the cadmium yellow. So you use a little cadmium yellow with a touch of brown, burnt sienna. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. So again, I put the edge and I start dragging the brush, I press down, and then I twist. You can twist left, twist right. And if you notice at this point, you can go over your green leaves here. When you do that, I start at the back and then I bring it forward and I overlap it. And same thing here, when you're on the shadow, you can put the edge and press down and drag. Right? But you can't rub the paint or rub the brush too much because you want to mix it with what the color underneath. That's more like for oils. And for acrylics, it's a little more forgiving in that sense. You can paint the lighter color on top. You eventually with the, yeah, you have a brushless over here. Yeah, get a nice straight edge. And probably a little more yellow so you can make more of a contrast. If it's too wet, you can always use your palette knife and scrape a little bit so you don't mix. Yeah, you can still. You can put the.
I'll go the other way.
Oh, you're going. You can. Whichever way is fine. Yeah, I'm looking. So you can. So you can start here. Alright. Or you can go from here. Doesn't matter. Pick your favorite.
That's too
Yeah,
Wow.
it's good. You can put more yellows in
I
there.
will, I'm just gonna, this is like, trying to take my time.
Take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. What time is it? And over here, there's some small leaves. You can put some tiny ones here. Here's this one too. Okay, more paint. Now, I picked up some of the color from the center of the flower, and I have to be very careful because if I don't clean the brush, that color, it's gonna dirty the rest of the petal, so. These petals over here is just the edge of the petal right here. And you can grab them from here, from the edge, and then drag it inside. So you're just putting a highlight on top there. I'm gonna do, while you keep doing the petals, I'm gonna do a little bit of refining with,
Looks like a chrysanthemum. It doesn't look like a sunflower.
yeah, I think because it's mixing too much. So why don't you do something, hit it with the hair dryer,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna
Go
take
over it.
yeah, all over with the hair dryer, and then you put the highlight. Right now you're mixing too much. Yeah, less is more. Sometimes you get excited about putting it in, we leave all those nice shadows behind, so you have to think about like big areas, here's the big area. Sorry, here's the big area. So, make sure that you have this inside, this inside. So you don't have there's a big line here and a big line on top. The rest is not that big. And you gotta be too happy with that. Yeah, very good, very
some of the center on that.
Do you have,
Yes. I think I have those happening. Well, my arm is sore, and I have to.
just the highlights.
Is that too bad?
I think you, as you put the lights, you wanna build thicker and thicker, right? So the lights are what's gonna make the flower come forward, or the amount of paint that you put. So. Right. But if you don't do well, you don't have to. And that's more complete. Yeah. If you use a bigger brush, it will be easy.
So
to
this
use.
was just on those highlights.
Oh.
Yeah. I did, I used to want to, it was great.
All right, I'm going to do, while you all finish this, I'm gonna do a little bit of refinement on the stem. Cause I see there's some, nice brown areas, and I'll just put some over here. Just a few touches here. Just a little refinement, that's all. Same thing here. In the center of the flower.
Is that the burnt sienna?
Yeah, this is a burnt sienna. I think you need your paint to be, yeah, maybe so. Now, the thing that's happening here also is that it's a random paint. It has too much of a filler, so it doesn't have, yeah, it doesn't have enough body space. So you may wanna have like a couple of passes, so you can, so that's the highlight. You know, but if you notice your highlights are here, same thing with you, if you wanna hit it with her dry now before you do the highlight. So it's light over here, this all on the light, and then over here. And the rest you can see in the color, yeah. All right. And now I'm gonna add these highlights that is going to be yellow, cadmium yellow and white. Just a touch of white, and that's gonna be the ones at the top. You see the contrast between the color that I have with the highlight, it's more, it's almost like 50-50 white and yellow. There. One brush stroke. Every time I do a brush stroke, I load my brush again. So you want to be loading your brush constantly every time you do one brush stroke. Because if you do a couple of times, you're just going to mix the color underneath. And you can also use your palette knife. I'm going to show you how to use your palette knife with this. All right. So I'm going to do the easy part now while you continue, and I'm going to do it with acrylic, so dry squeezing, and it's just the background color. And it's basically just putting texture on your canvas with your white. And be patient, go slow, and just go around the whole shape of the flower. I'm gonna cover the big areas first, and then I'm gonna get into the small details.
I see, and you're doing that before you put the tips on the flower.
Is the stuff that comes in the jar different from the tube?
This is acrylic, so it dries faster than
But
oil.
it's the same, like if you bought a tube of acrylic.
Yeah. Do you want to do it now, or you want to use something?
No.
Maybe? You wanna wait?
So now it's doing white and yellow.
Any yellow?
Cadmium yellow.
Huh?
Cadmium yellow and a little bit of white.
What's the Spanish word for paint?
Paint? Paint,
For oil.
for oil. Oleo?
Oleo.
Oleo, yes, like Italian.
Like
Oleo.
Italian.
Yeah, oleo.
Oil, yes, oil.
Híjole, es And once you start getting close to the edges, here's where you can refine the shape of your flower.
So we should wait till, if you're painting with oil, you should wait till it dries.
Or you can do it with acrylics. That's, it's, you know, it's an exercise, so
No, I mean,
as long as.
until the leaf dries, so you don't put the green into the.
You could. I mean, this is wet, but you know, I'm just being very careful, you know, just not to get, and even if you go over a little bit, you know, it's okay. You know, nothing is gonna damage the paint, see?
It makes it pop, doesn't it?
Now, I get close here and I will probably get these areas, like they're closer to the flower with a small brush. You know, you don't have to use the palette knife, but you could, but if it's easier, you can get a small brush and get here. See? How much battery do I have?
What color is this? That you're doing the outside?
White.
Just white.
Just white.
Uh,
And if you have, here you can use this or you can have one. But I want to build a big, a heavy texture so it looks like a stucco wall.
So what kind of palette knife is best to use? Like
For that, you can use a large, yeah, or actually. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got the knife, thank you.
Yeah.
I need to clean all my knives.
There. Any more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's- It's like horse baby cake.
And I do like to see how there's some broken color in between when you put it in the canvas, so like, you can see the red underneath. I kind of like that. So you don't have to cover every single gap.
Is this a common thing to do? This kind of background?
Yeah, I mean, because you try to make it look like a little stucco wall. Here's where you can get to have freedom, you can put more paint, less paint, that's, all about making it.
I've done that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Oh, yeah, not drink. brushes in my teeth, yeah.
There is something satisfying to it.
Oh, yeah. Do you want some of this paint? Do you want some of this white for your restaurant?
Sure.
Yeah. I like the way that I like your background. I do like that silver. Yeah. Acrylic. Yeah, just acrylic. And then for the ones, if you want to get into the little small areas, you can use a small brush for that. You can get there, but not to get palette knife. If you have a palette knife like this, like a tiny one, you can also use a tiny one.
It is softer. It's not as soft as this one. No, it's different, it's easier, but that's when you use this. It's easy, my moments. Except that I still have to go on wearing a paint.
And now, you may be wondering why didn't we do the white before doing the flower? And one of the benefits of what I like about this technique is that when you get to the edge of the sunflower, let's say, you can still see around the edge, you can still see that reddish color behind it. So it's kind of like it gives it this sort of like a reddish glow behind the flower, which I really like.
Excuse me, what is this paint called?
This is acrylic.
This is
Yeah,
acrylic.
yeah, that's acrylic, yeah. Acrylic gesso.
Okay.
Man, she's a little advanced.
Exactly.
Me? Oh, I've never had a lesson though, this is my first lesson, I've never painted, I mean, I painted. But never had a lesson, no, you can't say that anymore. No, you can't. But you've been saying it.
It's fun to go on YouTube and watch stuff.
I just go on yours too. I go on yours too. Me, that's all right. I think this has been my favorite painting, my favorite picture so far.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of like this illustrator.
I know, that one turned out so lovely. I put it in my skirt. I'm so happy with it.
It kind of looks like it's like very loose and very like free when you're doing like that,
Exactly.
right? And
It
you're not
looks
so
like
much,
it could be out there.
right. You're not so much bound to the drawing, but the
No,
effect.
This is beautiful, I'm so glad you chose this.
Thank you.
I've liked every single one so far. Well, they're my favorites. I like the window and the shower. The window.
You like that? Yeah.
And I don't like the candle.
Oh, the candle is gonna be fun. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Is that on the little ones that we got? Or
No,
is it the same
that was
size?
We're gonna do, the next one is
Yeah,
gonna be spring.
yeah, not
Wait,
the one that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When does that start?
That's going to be the next class, the next round is going to be September 16.
Okay.
So the 16, so it's gonna go, the,
And the
Is that the
23,
16, 20, right, 16, 22nd,
23rd,
23rd,
16th,
then
23rd, 30th.
30th, that's
And the
before
7th.
Halloween. Oh, and then the first week of October.
The 7th.
But again, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have two
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have two sessions, so if you can't make it on a Tuesday, you can, I'm gonna do it on a Thursday. Thursday,
AM.
oh, AM, everything, yeah, cause I have to drop off my kid. So, Thursdays is going to be, you're gonna work on your own project,
So
right?
you'll probably finish what you started Tuesday, but didn't finish.
You can, yeah, you can do that. And so, as soon as the class, I post the class, sign up for it, I'm gonna limit the class to only 10 students maximum. I think this is a good, good amount.
Good number.
Yeah.
So, sign up early.
Because people are usually. Yeah.
Yeah,
And if we do one class, like Tuesday, or we do Thursday, we could go to the Tuesday class, and you
I like
can't
it
go on
that
a Thursday.
you can jump in. Now, the other thing is that if you're doing Thursdays and you wanna jump in on Tuesdays, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing that.
Right, so
So,
you really
but
need to work on your project. But if you're doing,
if I'm doing something, you could help me a little.
yeah,
you know.
it's or the other way around, if you do something on Tuesday that you wanna finish on Thursday, you can do that. Yeah, you can break that.
I love this. I like that.
Nice. Very nice.
And if you're, are you all members?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're, okay, cause you get the class discount.
Yeah, what you save pays for the membership.
What's that?
What you save on the classes pays the
$20.
$20 a class.
Right.
If you take 2 classes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you get paid the same no matter if we're members or not? Or-
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a small, but, yeah.
I don't have that.
Well, I put the white on top of it again. I know I haven't finished the
You can
fine.
put more wine if you want or not. I like the way you did it. I mean, it looks, I
Yeah,
like
it's
that
fine, I just,
silver.
I have to go over when the stuff dries, if it's too wet.
Be creative, be creative. Be creative with your background.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a stucco guy.
Yeah.
This is probably the closest I've ever been to what my granddad did. It is kind of fun.
Yes, now you can hear with the bird, you see one point, start getting into the edges and really come to that.
It looks like there's a shadow under the leaves on
the picture, like here.
yeah, see?
So what you can do once it's dry, you can put like a wash of green. It looks like green, like or like a grayish green,
Yeah,
and then just with a brush, just put a wash,
okay.
and that will make it really stand out even more. Yeah, good catch.
I love this.
Thank you. You can answer. You can always, add more, but I like how all the texture is, really interesting.
So what's the brand name?
You can take a picture if you want.
Okay, no, I'll remember.
Any white gesso, any brand, as long as it's like a,
And
it has to be thick,
yeah.
Oh, the
right?
gesso,
Yeah.
so that's what you use, the
Yeah.
gesso.
You want to use that?
I don't know how to do it. What do I know?
I'm gonna stop the recording. 'Cause
I don't know if I need to.